Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again, I'm Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-host Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Jeff Mohr again, Dave Dreher, and myself will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Train wreck. We have a train wreck here. Tonight, we are reviewing Stalker out on VOD. Yes, it's going to be an interesting discussion. With me this week is the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir? So nice, I said you twice.
I'm stalking. Yes, indeed, I'm stalking. You and me. Okay. And that's why I don't usually sing.
What is it? GTFO? Is that how it goes? Let's see. All right, Dave Dreher, you're up next.
Shut the front door.
Hello, guys. How's everybody?
Good.
You ready to stalk?
Ready to do it. Yeah. Ready to do it. Ready. Absolutely. Oh, the excitement. Can you feel it? All right, what we're going to do is we're going to give our first impressions. That will be spoiler-free, and then we're going to dive into a discussion. We're going to drop some spoilers then, and then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But what film are we talking about? We're talking about Stalker, which is available on demand and streaming June 18th, 2021. The director is Tyler Savage, written by Tyler Savage, along with Dash Hawkins. Great name. The cast includes Christine Coe, Vincent Van Horn, and Michael Lee Joplin. The synopsis is a young man's budding romance is threatened when he befriends an unstable ride-share driver. I think, okay, so as far as new common fears, this isn't too far from, a 21st century thing, a fear that we would,
right. What was it? We already had one of these. What was that one with the kid from Stranger Things? That movie?
Yeah, there's been a couple. I mean, before that would be Taxi Drivers, right? And that
right.
But but let's get into this. I'm really curious what you guys thought of this film. It's going to be, I don't know. This might be a pickle. Jeff, what about you, sir? What was your first impression of Stalker?
So, I don't know. I kind of like this. I kind of like this, but there's a lot of things I didn't like about it. So, added to your comment, your new fears is the fear of somebody taking over your social media and electronics and destroying your life. That's another new fear that's becoming more and more real. So
absolutely steal your entire identity, just steal it away.
As long as somebody wanted to so anyway, I enjoyed this. I don't want to be careful because I want to give anything away. There's a twist in the end, but we were talking a little bit before the show, and I'd say the first half of it is very slow. I don't know any other way to say it. Very slow. This guy moves to LA and you don't exactly know why, but it's because of a breakup, I guess. And he just happens to meet a couple people, and he's a teacher, so he gets jobs as a tutor, and all this stuff is kind of plodding along, but it all has impact because when the the stuff the title of the movie is about starts kicking in, to me, then it got really interesting and nasty and uncomfortable to me. The stuff, the computer stuff was, that's like being totally helpless. You're totally out of control. You got someone else is doing all this stuff to your life and you can't do anything. You're just watching it go down the drain. And I don't know if I saw the twist coming, it was sort of like in my mind that it might be there, but I hadn't said there wasn't a big, huge giveaway other than, I don't know. And probably just by saying there's a twist, we're giving it away,
Yeah, I know. If you're just looking for a twist, it's the only one you're going to find, yeah.
Right. So anyway, and I did enjoy the last, I don't know, I suppose it was last 15 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. As I think when the computer stuff and the final denouement takes place.
Yeah, I mean, it leads up to a good final act. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
All right, Dave Dreher, sir, what was your first impression of Stalker?
So we learned actually two important lessons here. The first one is never jerk off in front of your computer.
Yeah, that's
Just don't.
true.
Just close the lid, whatever. Go in another room, something. Don't jerk off in front of your computer. And then also, the other, we talked about the fear of having your computer taken over and all that stuff, but also just how quickly people pass judgment on you. I mean, immediately you're just an evil, horrible person, and that's true in today's society. It just is. You can be the best person in the world and somebody come up and say, hey, Doc Rotten touches little boys in the bathroom, and all of a sudden he's defending himself because of that, and there's, no truth to it whatsoever. Someone just said it, and now it's been repeated. And, so that's what I found really interesting about this film, about how quickly, because I think this guy, I mean, obviously he's made mistakes, but I think at his core, he's actually a pretty good dude. His life just gets turned upside down. Unfortunately, though, we have to end up to be at about 50 minutes into this hour and 28-minute movie until we get to that point, because the first 2/3 is very dry. Lots of him just sitting around feeling sorry for himself, it was starting to wear on me a little bit. But then when our nut job starts getting nut jobby, then it gets interesting. So I don't know. I'm kind of like Jeff. I didn't hate it, but I really didn't care for it that much. Plus, it's shot with that I call it the Lifetime movie feel. I don't know what kind of camera they use, but it's got that look of almost like a soap opera. So that always annoys me.
Yeah,
just because I don't like it.
The cinematography is very brightly lit, right? And it's fine because it's not meant to be an atmospheric film. It's meant to be as real life as you can get it. So in that respect,
and we get those get the things with the camera where we see it through the lens of the lens of the cell phone.
Some found footage kind of stuff, right? So this film, I'm with Jeff. I don't know. Did I like it? Did I not like it? I watched all the way through. I didn't have any trouble watching it all through. It's not like it was so slow. I was like, oh my God, this is a chore. It wasn't a chore. It was actually entertaining enough. But it wasn't really, it wasn't captivating where it had me on like pins and needles on the edge of my seat. It didn't have that kind of pull to it. It was very dramedy kind of at first, right? It was, these events. And then every once in a while you'd have, Roger coming in, the driver coming in, if that's really his name, and doing crazy stuff, right? And then some of the things, to make a point, they were a little heavy-handed, right, with the police officers and some other stuff. It wasn't incorrect. It was just a little, too much, right? It was a little overboard. But I would say that at the same time, I was like, oh wow, this guy, broke up with his girlfriend. It was a bad breakup. He moves to LA and he meets this girl, and it seems like he's got a chance at romance until this ding dong comes in and starts screwing things up, right? So I kind of felt for the guy, and so there is something here, even though it isn't quite 100% there. So it's one of those films that, as a film critic or film reviewer, as we are, I guess we're reviewers more than critics. You go into them. It's really easy to talk about a film that you really love. It's really easy to talk about a film that you really hate. When you're in the middle, you're kind of like,
Yeah. Well, you don't want to shit on it because it's not a bad movie, but then at the same time, you don't want to recommend it because it's not a good movie. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to tell people, give them an honest thing. I guess you're just gonna have to watch it for yourself and see what you think. I think some people are going to find this to be highly captivating. This is one you could probably watch with your wife, I mean, it's not like overly bloody or overly horrible.
Yeah, or your significant other, if you're
your significant other, yes, yes, exactly.
Doesn't have to be your wife.
That's it's three married men sitting there.
I'm gonna try that, Dave, and put you to the test.
I mean, this is one that if my wife is going to watch one of the movies that we're going to be talking about, this would be one that I could probably get her to sit through.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. What's interesting is that we talked about the Uber driver, and the Uber drivers is this this weird trust thing that you have. They pull up, we're trusting them, they're trusting us.
Just to be clear, we don't get in trouble with Uber.
It's not an Uber driver, right?
Yeah, what do they call it? They call it something else. What is
Ride,
it?
I think.
Ride, yeah. Right. That's spelled RYDE.
Yeah. So I'm using Uber like we use Google as far as search engines. It's just this, or Q-tip, right? Where the brand becomes the name of it. But anyway, yes, Jeff is absolutely correct. This guy that works for Ride. But you have this, you are putting your trust in theirs, and in same twist, they are putting in theirs too, right? Either party. But what's really even where it takes that a step further is that not only is that it's not that the person just wants to want to kill you, he actually wants to like stalk you and befriend and do these weird things, and then it goes overboard. And to be honest, that's when it actually starts to get interesting, is when he starts really taking it to the extreme. But the first part is actually a little too real, in some respects, because, calling all the time, wanting to know what it is, getting upset because that's not, it doesn't even have to be, that's just weird relationships that can happen anywhere and have always been a thing.
Yeah, it's that dilemma of when are you being too nice and when do you be honest, I guess. Like you're trying to be nice to somebody, you don't want them to be your friend, but you're not trying to be an asshole about it. But
right.
And there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, well, and we have that in this. That there's that confrontation scene in the park where he's trying to apologize for ghosting him, and the guy just won't let it go.
Yeah,
and it ends up becoming end up going to fisticuffs, and it just escalates completely out of control at that point. And I mean, so he does. That's what I mean. This guy, our main guy, he tries to do the right thing. Although again, in our ending, we find out that he's not quite as good a guy as we think he is. But he admits some things that we may have suspected, but.
I wasn't buying everything he was saying early on. I was like, you're full of shit, sir. Which I don't know. I kind of I guess the nature of the film you're suspicious of in the first place, and so that I kind of kept looking for things. I found myself like,
right.
What's up with this? What's up with that? Roger. We know what's up with Roger, but the other two. Andy, our hero, air quotes, that we're following, and then his girlfriend Sam. You're watching them. What's going on with them? What's all this? And in some ways that's really interesting. And so
when you watch it, you're looking for. I mean, you got a film that the title is Stalker, right? So right away you're looking for. So which one of these is the Stalker? So you're just looking for. And so you're watching, and you get introduced to Sam, Andy, and Roger, and that's pretty much it. So you're what did she just do? That's kind of suspicious. Well, maybe that's normal. I don't know.
What's Andy doing? He's not acting right. And what's right? Roger's the only known factor, but he just takes it so far. When he laughs, oh my gosh. Speaking of these characters, Christine Coe plays Sam or Samantha. Vincent Van Horn plays Andy, and Michael Lee Joplin plays Roger. They're 99% of the film, along with the dog. I thought they were great.
Yeah, I would say they're all strong.
Yeah. I really liked them. Even though
I'm going to say Dusty Sorg as Cheeto was also really good.
Okay.
That was the meth house guy.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Vincent Van Horn reminds me of somebody. I'm trying to think of who it is. I think it's what's the guy who gets the fake license in the movie from Hawaii?
The fake license.
McLovin.
McLovin?
McLovin. He looks like McLovin. Yes, I knew if I said Hawaiian license, he would get it. McLovin.
Yeah, he does. It does a little bit. Yeah, I can see where you say that.
I could see all this happening to the McLovin guy. So anyway. All right. There's some stuff to talk about, but we'd be giving away the twist, and I kind of feel like we should leave that one thing for the film.
Yeah, I mean, it is telegraphed. Anybody that's watched these type of movies for any length of time, you're going to see it coming.
Yeah,
but it's still handled well.
And I would say the ending is far better than the movie deserved.
Yeah,
I would say.
No, it's a great ending. I really enjoyed the ending.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And if you're listening, we want to thank you for hanging out for these reviews. We're hoping you're enjoying not only this review, but others that we have on the site. So thank you so much. If you want to, and we would love it, hit the subscribe button or share with a friend. Either one of those would do us wonders. Thank you. And of
you're
course,
being too nice, Doc. Demand it. Demand that they do it.
Subscribe
right now. We'd love to hear your comments too, and we also want to thank our patrons over at Patreon. Without their support, we wouldn't be able to do not only this podcast, but Horror News Radio, Decades of Horror, and Heroes and Droids. We talk about a lot of shit. All right, let's dive into this. What are our final thoughts, our score, and favorite scene? Jeff Mohr, you, sir, are up first.
I am. I'm really debating this. I think this is for me. I'm glad I watched this. I'm debating. I'm going to go 2.75.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff that we're saying was dragging. In a way, it sets things up later. Some of that stuff, the tutoring and things like that, set up other things that come later. Although it maybe could have been done a little more efficiently, but still. And for favorite scene, I gotta do the meth house.
That was a good scene. Oh my god, it was either that or the guy laughing outside. Just okay.
Yes, yeah. He just wait.
All right, very good. Dave, you are up next, sir. Your final thoughts, your score, favorite scene.
I'm going to give this one a 2.5. Just nice middle of the road. Like I said, it's not a bad movie. It's not really a good movie. Check it out. Where's this one going to be, Doc? Is this playing? Is this streaming anywhere in particular?
Right now, it's VOD. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not on one of the services or anything yet, but I have a feeling it shall be soon. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know what else really to say about it because, like you said, to discuss it too much is going to give away the twist, which is really the only reason worth watching it for. Favorite scene. I want to go with the scene where he shows up for his tutoring job with the African-American woman, and she's waiting for him at the door. She's like, "You got some guts showing your face here." And then a little girl shows up and she's like, "Hi, I'm Allison," or whatever her name was. And, it's obviously something's wrong. But
that was pretty good.
Yeah, that scene is reminiscent of what I was talking about before, where people just believe anything you say. I mean, he'd been tutoring this woman's son and doing a damn good job, and one thing happens, and he's instantly guilty, and he's labeled as this predator, and that's scary. That can happen to anybody, So, but I thought it was handled particularly well here because the mother is a little bit of a larger than life character.
So, very much so. Played very, very larger than life. But
yeah.
in a hilarious, but it felt very LA, I'm gonna say. Not being from LA, it just felt like it should be LA.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Maybe it's a character trick, but
yeah.
I hear what you're saying. All right, so yeah, this film, it is a horror film in its core because of the nature of what it is, but it's not really gory. There's not really stuff that happens in that respect. So if you're looking for that, you're looking for a big bloody surprise. You're not really going to get it. But at the same time, I think there's some entertainment to be had. I think the actors are good. The finale is like the last third, I think is what we're saying is, you know, is fun. It ramps up. Getting there, you know, for some might be tedious, but I found it entertaining, but I don't know if I actually liked it. So that's why I'm going to give it. I was going to give it a 3. I feel like I'm being generous now that you guys have said your scores, but it's better than average, right? So it's better than average.
I would, yeah. I'm very, very close to a 3. You know,
Okay, fair enough.
Probably 2 nights.
So it's my favorite scene though. You guys both took them, so I've got to dig deep. I want to pick one from the finale, but not the actual last scene. But when it's just 2 of our characters out in the woods.
Yeah.
And and it's just like there's a look on somebody's face that I was like, you know what's happening, and we know what's happening. Let's let it happen.
Well, let's just get it done, huh?
But it kind of felt appropriate. Is that weird to say? It just felt like
no.
I mean, it's not like it's too neat and tidy for the film. I mean, it just felt like, well, yeah,
in that world,
makes sense.
Of course, it's going to end that way, and it makes it was, so I guess it was rewarding in a way. I don't know.
The characters stayed true to the way they'd been set up. I thought.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of I sussed out the twist, although I was going much further into Twistyville than they did. I was going really bonkers in my head about where they could go. But so it wasn't a surprise, but at the same time, I liked it. Right? It's not like oh no, it's like, oh yeah, okay, cool, let's do this. That's a thing. Yeah. All right. Dave, Jeff.
At least it gives weight to the old adage: whoever at the end of the movie has the dog is the winner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
You might fear for the dog, but I guess we just gave away the dog survives, and that's the important thing.
This is a good one for dog lovers. Nothing happens to the
dog. Jeff, Dave, thank you for joining me. This is a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.